Thank you for tuning in.
Really, dude?
Now look, don't get me started now. Don't you do it.
Welcome, guys. We had an eventful day today. We heard oh wow, the conversations that go on backstage. You guys aren't even ready. We showed you DJ T, up in the house. He gave a lowdown of what's going on. He laid out everything that Joe Biden is doing wrong, which we all know what he's doing wrong. Everybody on this, if you guys don't know, this is Casey, and this is the Anthony Russo. He thinks he's funny, but he'll make really corny jokes. Just act like they're funny. Drop a comment, like a laugh symbol, whatever you guys need to do to make him feel better.
Hey, I got a cue for you real quick. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I can't stand him.
Anthony's an ass.
If you guys are tuning in, we're not going to stay on here too long because you guys had a, 2.5 hour broadcast today that we presented. But we wanted to come up and recap everything that's going on. Share this video out with your friends. Hello. Love it. Robin, let's see. Make America think again.
Let's go.
That's what needs to happen. People need to quit. Just think for yourself for a minute. I love it.
Your brain.
So,
please.
what was your recap? I heard you said that you didn't vote for Donald Trump. Correct?
Me?
Did you?
Absolutely not. Everybody knows that.
How do you feel now after hearing him speak?
No, so I voted for him again. I voted for somebody else for other reasons than necessarily against him. But I believe that was the best speech Donald Trump has ever done in his entire 4-year career being a president.
Correct. He laid out facts. He laid out exactly what was going on. He went off a little tangents here and there, but I mean, that's what just makes him him. But he just laid out straight up facts to everybody.
Yep.
And he backed it up. If you guys didn't watch it, he was really, really honing in on warp speed and how Joe Biden must send out a thank you letter to him for, his vaccination that he received in December. Also, he needs to CC Kamala Harris, who also got the vaccine. The entire administration is taking credit for something that they didn't do. Dr. Fauci's boss has congratulated warp speed and came out and congratulated Donald Trump. And then you have people like Biden and you have Circle Back Girl claiming all these things, and it's just not true. It's just straight up not true.
I like that you think that Joe Biden can actually email anybody, that he knows how to use it. CC, he doesn't even know what CC is. CC is the amount of drugs he has to take to make it through the day.
CC for the amount of medication he needs every day. He knows all about that. But it truly is just it's baffling to me. I mean, I think the best part of his speech, I don't know if you guys listened to this part, but he talked about children and how the generation is directly being impacted by these lockdowns. And I think that's what we need to be talking about as a country is the education level and what we're being inhibited by these lockdowns and how many kids are suicidal, how many kids are going through that right now when they shouldn't be going through that because the CDC said it's safe to return to school. They have not spent all the funding for the schools from the last stimulus. So what are they doing?
I am effing stuff up.
The new date, you guys, was May today. We will be back in school by May, which is summertime. So now you're going to have a bunch of kids that are now going to be super confused. Like, oh, this is when I can go play and have fun with my friends. But now we got to go back to school to make up for time. And it's literally the worst decision-making process by a bunch of people that are so far removed from being kids. They don't even remember anything about education, anything about how life works. They're just like, they're literally playing everybody like they're chess pieces and no emotion, no feelings. Like, well, let's just keep this separate. Let's do this. May.
It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May.
Can we talk about how Trump emphasized the need to push American culture and to stop the left from the indoctrination of our children? You're talking about children. That was something else that I love that he spoke on. I was like, yo, you are on fire right now. What's happening?
He got someone else to write his teleprompter. That's it. He was on point with every little thing. And that was a topic that I perked my head up because I was doing other things and listening to it. And I was like, wait a minute. You've never talked about this topic ever before. and here it is. Like, cool, good. I'm glad you're talking about it. We need to.
Wait, hold on. So, CNN didn't cover it, like none of the mainstream media. This is what made me laugh. They said Donald Trump should have held a moment of silence for all the COVID lives lost. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about him not taking a moment of silence. This is the mainstream media.
I like when he talks shit about the 2 masks. He's like, whatever they say this week, I don't know. 2 masks. He was hilarious. Like, there was a couple like the digs on Joe. He's like, I don't think Joe was being malicious. I don't think he meant anything by it. I don't think he knew what the hell he was talking about.
Right.
Yeah, now they're like straight up burns, like to the point where he's funny. Like, he is funny.
Yeah, and now we deal with circle back girl. Like, here, I miss Donald Trump, but I also miss Kayleigh McEnany. Like, when you look at what we have now compared to her, it's like downgrade. Ordering something from Wish, and that's what you're getting.
Facts, yeah. We need to turn that into a meme.
We do, because I feel like we ordered something from Wish. You expect Kayleigh McEnany, and you get her.
Hey, Primetime Patriots, can you guys make a T-shirt with her picture on it? But hear me out.
Okay.
Say, let's circle back to the last president.
I like that.
That's not a bad idea.
Because listen,
she might sue us though for putting her face on.
Listen, I know Suni ain't no circle back girl. Listen, few times Suni's been around that track.
I ain't no holler back girl though. That's all right.
Can I ask Casey a question?
Hell no.
Casey, since you said this is the best speech he's had, most on point, we know that you voted for Jorgensen. I do have a question. Do you think that it seemed like that great of a speech? Because for the last month, we've been putting up with whatever these speeches have been, like unable to read a teleprompter, or do you think it was really the best? Because I've heard him do some great speeches. I think this is one of the best. But do you just think it's because right now our comparison from our commander-in-chief of like 5-minute speeches, you can't hold it together, and this are just no comparison? That's
a good question. Honestly, I still think no. I think this trumped everything, literally Trump, that everything that he's done in the past, because it was on point, factual, and he didn't really play the games of poking fun at people a whole lot. He cracked jokes, which is okay in my book. But there is the bigger thing that I also don't. Oh, really? Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, I love you too. But overall, his speech was all involved and just being like, hey, this is what I believe, and this is my philosophy. There's nothing wrong with someone saying that. Mm-hmm. And when you get me around some of the guys, like, yeah, I'm going to crack jokes like that. Like I have with you guys backstage, same stuff. And that's what Trump did today. I don't want him coming up with a whole bunch of new names and making fun of people in that manner. Just crack a couple jokes and move on. I think he gets caught up in that because it gets a lot of laughs. And today it was factual, to the point, and it was just like, we're going to move on. And that's what I loved about today's.
Me too. Like, I think Donald Trump truly gave a great speech. He laid out everything that was going wrong, like to the T. Like, he was like, this is wrong, fired, wrong. And it was just, it's scary to think that Sorry, I apologize, everyone. Russo also experiences Cricket Wireless, so if he cuts it in and out, that is why. I apologize for that. But I still can't hear you, Russo, so I'm going to keep talking. So what was I going to say? See, his Cricket, look, now he's a black screen. Nothing wrong with black screens. Like, that's not what I'm saying. Don't, quote me from 30 years from now saying I hate black screens. But it's crazy to me how we have had literally 5 weeks, a taste of 5 weeks of Joe Biden. And this is where we're at. I mean, it's getting crazy. Like, just filling up my gas tank, I'm noticing it. Like, I truly am noticing it. Like, it's not just like a simple fill up my tank. It's like, okay, I'm not going here anymore because I'm not going to go fill up my gas tank 8-10 times a week. Like, it's unnecessary. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It's scary. I mean, They complained Donald Trump was going to send us into World War III. He established peace in the Middle East. And we had a man who's been in for 6 weeks and he's setting bombs off in Syria. Like, my brain hurts.
I had one of my cousins 2 nights ago, last night, tell me, oh, what Joe Biden did is the same thing Donald Trump did when he took out the leader. Was it Iran?
Assad,
however you say
whatever.
That. And I'm like, really? No, Joe Biden didn't kill any leader of anything. Trump did. How can you compare that?
The only thing that Joe Biden has killed is American jobs, period.
Facts.
He's the second runner-up of killing things besides Cuomo, which the mainstream media also doesn't like to talk about.
Yep.
Oh, they're doing a lot of talk about Cuomo.
My dog just took my Donald Trump bobblehead, and he's running with this thing. I almost have... Suni, keep talking, because I got to get it.
Sure. Well, I see a few people that are like, great speech. It was the same stuff he always says. Do you know what made it what made it great? Trump didn't point fingers. He laid out what the facts were. And you know what else is great about it? The media is going to have the hardest time manipulating and piecing things together. I would love to see what the hell they come up with. Go ahead. Go for it.
They're not going to manipulate it. They're just going to omit. There is no way to manipulate except for omission. They are only going to talk about his discussion about the election issues, which they have quote unquote proven is false. They're going to go ahead and that's all they're going to do. What they are hoping is that nobody, which most of the people on the left will not go watch the speech. They're just hoping that people just take that and move on like tonight didn't even happen, when tonight was actually a very important night in the United States of America. An ex-president has never, in the last 100 years, has never gone on stage and made a plea to the American public, for a re-election after losing for 4 years or not being in for 4 years, and to actually talk about all the great things that need to happen in this country. It's unprecedented what happened on that stage tonight. And the thing that they're going to do, what they're going to do is the fake news, is pretend like it never happened. And just say he did this, and most liberals or most leftists, I like to say leftists, most leftists are going to say, oh, not worth watching, of course. It's all an hour and a half of bullshit. He still kept the same old lies.
It's like what's happening at the southern border is like there was the camps, and like Donald Trump is terrible. And then Joe Biden put family camps, and they're like, yes, Joe. Yes, Joe. We love you,
They're
Joe.
all mindless drones, man. They're all mindless drones. They have no clue what's happening.
There are literally people in this country who are starving. There are people in this country who are without jobs. There are kids who are literally killing themselves. And we're worried about a potato head.
Hey, that's fixed now. He is now still going to remain as Mr. Potato Head.
Okay.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
Yeah.
He is, because guess what? When he was on this show or the movie Toy Story, he said, "It is Mr. Potato Head to you." He identified as Mr. Potato Head. So therefore, they're not being appropriate by not identifying by his correct pronoun. And they should be ashamed of themselves. And that's disgusting.
So the one thing I see, the opposing side, I'm not going to say just the left, because I do know some people that are middle ground in this scenario, but they hate Trump for some reason. I still don't understand why. But they, when they are against Trump, they're just going to be like, well, he said the election was still stolen and it was not, it was rigged. And I'm like, that is the only thing I think they're going to focus on and bring 100%. Up. And that is the only thing I can come up with in his entire speech that they're going to nitpick like no other.
The votes.
Yep.
That's old though. How long are people going to like tune into that? Seriously, because America's their attention span is like 2 seconds. You gotta keep talking about the same thing. How long is that gonna carry over?
I've already had one person bring it up to me, and I'm like, all right, what's going on in Maricopa County? Let's watch it in a little bit. Let's see what happens. Like, we might find something with 2.1 million ballots that are going to be audited. Do we find something? Possibly. So we'll see. But that's the part that it's just like, come on, guys. Like
this New Equality Act is trash.
It's not equal.
If poop could fall out of a bill, it would fall out of this bill. And Nancy Pelosi would be like, it tastes wonderful.
Literally, we live in such a headline culture. It's like the Paris Climate Accord, the Equality Act. People go, oh, you're not for the Equality Act? You're probably not for equality either. No, we're not for the dumb shit that goes inside the bill. We're not against the Paris Climate Accord. We're against us having an unfair disadvantage to other countries. It's just because we are against a bill that says something, or against, for example, Black Lives Matter. We're not against Black lives. We know this. We're against the stupidity that goes into the organizations and to the bills and to the different acts that are literally leading us into a place where actually it's inequality, because now you're granting things to people that are not biologically women, but they're allowed to compete against them on different levels. It makes zero sense whatsoever.
And Trump said that. He said, this isn't something they wanted me to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it. Women have made such strides in sports. Why are we going to allow biological males to compete in female sports? Any normal, sane person would agree with that. If they don't, there is something not clicking upstairs. Period. It's not clicking. Suni, you're muted.
This Equality Act is literally for 0.6 of the adult population. I just want to throw that number out there so you guys can understand how many people are going to be affected by this.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the world is about to suffer. Children are going to suffer. Women are going to suffer. Men are going to suffer because you want to pander to 0.6 of the adult population. They're trying to inflate that number, if you haven't noticed, with Richard Levine and his nonsense. Now they're going after kids.
It's sick. It's so sick. I don't get it. It makes my blood boil. Yeah.
So my question for all of you, what is the best thing Trump said tonight?
The best thing?
Yeah, we'll answer this and we'll wrap this up because I didn't want to stay on here. We're almost 20 minutes. But the best thing, Suni, you got something?
When he hinted that he was going to run. For me, and I just finished my show, and people, they know exactly why I'm saying it. They know exactly why I'm saying it. I'm going to shut my mouth. But that, for me, that was the highlight of the speech. I was like, yes, let's go.
And I think the biggest thing, too, is he talked about the power of the American people. Yes. And I think he reiterated that the movement of putting America first, and which is how he's been the whole entire time. But it's not going to be America's first until Americans truly believe in that movement and actually putting the Americans first and making sure that every person that we elect into any place in this country, that they think of America first. We cannot take care of the rest of the world or be the beacon on the hill unless we take care of our own families, our own veterans, our own homeless people, all of those individuals. Until they are all accounted for and every kid in America is getting the proper education that they deserve, then we can't focus what's going on in Iran or focus what's going on in Australia or New Zealand or the UK. We have to put America first. And then in that very moment, then we can be the beacon that we always were meant to be. But right now, America is broken. We're so divided. We're on so many measures. It's because Americans aren't thinking anymore. They're allowing these people in positions of power to think for them. They're allowing the media to think for them. And that's why we want to break the cycle. It's kind of like being in an abusive relationship. We're in an abusive relationship of someone who wants to demand power over us, and we're staying because it's comfortable. And until America steps outside of its comfort zone, we're not going to grow. That's the plain point of it, is that we're not going to grow until we step out.
Facts.
100%.
Russo, Triple Wireless.
I appreciate that he understands the game.
Yeah.
And I think it was also interesting to show.
Well, Russo is going through a hard time.
Casey, go ahead.
No, my part is very similar to Suni's. He just said there's going to be a third term. There's going to be a third run, right?
And can I emphasize this really quick, and I'll let you continue?
He said
No, I'm sorry. I asked first, so I was practicing good manners. Trump also emphasized the having a third party, which is what I said, which is what Blake said, which is what we all said here, is irresponsible, and you're going to split. We are already a divided country. You're going to split the party. Now I'm going to shut up.
You had to do that. You're just such a jerk. Even though I still disagree with you. However, that's fine. And that's my thing is like he said there's going to be a third term. And for all of the people like that believe otherwise, that was a big thing that I'm just like, I'm counting the days. I'm still counting them right now. We only got a few more left, and it's just going to solidify who's actually telling facts and who's not.
Yep.
And quit spoon feeding yourself with stupidity. Like, if there's big head, okay, here's what makes it seem so ironic to me. If you don't think there's other things going on, if CNN and MSNBC and all these other news outlets are not covering CPAC and they're going to talk about little things from there that are completely irrelevant, did you hear Donald Trump doesn't put the toilet seat down? Like, that's what they're talking about.
Yep.
And that's what I'm sick of hearing. They're like, did you know Joe Biden loves chocolate chip cookie dough? Did you know that? Did you know Circle Back Girl said? Like, it's stupid to me. Like, they're not reporting anything besides of what they want to talk about. They're like, oh, did you hear what color they're going to paint the Oval Office? Did you hear what the new rug they got from IKEA? Like, no one cares about that. Tell me how you're going to fix this country, not about what you're doing or you're playing Mario Kart with your niece, nephew, whatever. You probably don't even know who they are. You lose count 10 seconds later. Like, that's just the truth of the matter. And until our media does its job, until the big tech quits censoring all of us conservatives out there, we're going to stay in this rut. And our congressmen and women need to do their job to ensure that every American's voice is heard. And until then, we are going to stay in this abusive relationship with the elites and their powerfulness. And our ability, we have to realize it's our ability to make sure that they're doing what we want them to do.
Blake is going to keep talking through when I have 4 bars. I got 4 bars right now. Let me talk.
Okay, come on, Cricket.
No, what I was saying is exactly what Suni said is he knows to play the game. And he talked about the fact that whoever presented it from the news about him starting another party was fake news also. Like, we just can't trust anything that comes out there unless you hear it from somebody. And the other big thing that I heard that I didn't even know is that we had not had a single soldier, and I want to cross-reference it, die in Afghanistan in the last calendar year. We've not had a U.S. soldier. That was an important fact that needs to be shared because I think we're about to be entering something with the Syria situation that is going to show that all of a sudden our soldiers are no longer safe again. We're going to be entering not a full-blown war, but there's going to be situations that are happening all over the Middle East that were not happening for the last. It took them 2.5, 3 years to get there. But we got to a much safer place. So I think that was a really interesting fact he brought up on top of all the other stuff going on. The one thing I will say about Joe Biden is that we're not going to have to worry about our president golfing as much because I don't think he can make it through more than about 4 or 5 holes. So at least the media isn't going to have to talk about how much he's golfing, probably because he can't hold a stick anymore. So anyways, that had a double entendre.
Oh, God. And we'll take it away. But guys, thanks for tuning into Primetime Patriots. We want to give you kind of like a quick commentary of what we thought about his speech, give you guys the rundown of what's going on. As always, we give you guys factual information, but do not forget, if you want Trump 2024 gear, and that is cheaper, I guarantee it, than any of the other places you're going to find it, go to primetimepatriots.org, get your merch, get it. We have tons of great stuff. Suni shirt, show your shirt, Suni.
Show my
wow.
shirt.
Oh my gosh, you have it on too.
Go get a shirt. Go get your Trump 2024 shirt. Go get your Save America shirts. You guys are like a walking promo for us all. Seriously. People are going to question your shirt. So
listen, people always come up to me. They always come up to me and they start talking to me. They're like, oh, we think they should think again too. Like, we don't like Donald Trump. I'll go, hi, welcome. My name's Blake. Let's have a conversation. It's great. But we love you guys. Thanks, Russo and Casey, for tuning on to PTP. Great to be the change here over at Primetime Patriots. But we love you guys. Make sure you guys are following us on all of our social media, staying in the loop and staying connected. But we love you guys and have a good night.